The narrator tells us Gon and Killua are deep in thought, and they of course are deep in thought about many things, about how to keep those angry expressions on their face, how that underwear stays on Biscuit in Hulk form, and of course how they're gonna win this fight. We get a stare down with some really good art throughout. Knuckles gentle and all that, but when he takes off his shirt, he shows us that he actually is almost as ripped as Mikasa from Shingeki no Kyojin. Nice try, Knuckle, but Mikasa just has those washboard abs and you can't compete with those. Gon devises an aura barrier strategy that's similar to how Kurapika used the dust in the fight with Ubogan. After a bit of a scuffle, a nightmarishly cute creature shows up on Gon's arm and lets him know he has interest. Hopefully it's the good kind of interest, like compound interest, right? Nope, this is the kind of interest like credit card companies use, the kind of interest that takes you into the back of an alley, screws you, and shakes your pockets for all they're worth. We learn that some nin creatures are supposedly invincible, or at least Knuckles is. That's quite an interesting tidbit, and it might be exclusive to Knuckle. Not only is Gon having to tangle with Knuckle, and after a lengthy explanation that I'll spare you, we also find out that he has to deal significant damage to Knuckle to repay the interest or he'll bust. This is why I like Nin so much. You can create very unique powers like this that you certainly would not see in like any movie. This stuff is unique to anime and manga series like Hunter x Hunter, folks. This is going to be a fairly short review as there's just no reason at all for me to explain the whole ability and there's not all that much I can add to it other than what I've said. I must say it's been a while since I've reread this exact part in the manga, so I really don't remember how Gon wins, and for the moment I don't see how he's going to with insurmountable odds like that. Remember though, Hunter x Hunter is a series where you can lose and move on. Alright, so we move to Shoot and Killua, two names that have to do with killing. Have we seen a green aura yet? It looks fancy. It looks like Shoots for real this time. You can tell because his face is as clean as like a Maybelline girl is and there's not a million drops of sweat. Three floating hands in a cage appear around him, and like Knuckle, it seems like we're in for a really interesting nin power. I have to comment on the little things, folks, or this review is going to be like 2 minutes. I gotta say, whoever drew those floating hands of Shoots really nailed them. Hands are hard to draw, and it seems like a lot of detail went into them. Even though Killua is uncertain, he stands his ground for a bit and knocks the hand away with his yo-yos. It's always hilarious to see people's reaction to the super alloy yo-yos. Shoot be looking surprised. Really, even though we all know Hunter x Hunter is not a series for kids, and if it's labeled that, it's a very deceptive title, Togashi knows he does have some younger people reading his story, and to include yo-yos as an ability for a main character really adds a kiddish charm to the otherwise adult world of Hunter x Hunter. Oh, and by the way, I know it's Hunter x Hunter, I just prefer saying the X. Alright, this section's very good and I rewatched it many times before doing this review. Killua starts having inner battles with himself and flinching when he otherwise might have been able to get off that electricity attack. Illumi's very haunting here. His jet black hair and eyes cast a dark shadow over Killua's chances of victory. Notice that the gentle Shoot does not punch, but rather uses the palm of his hand to attack. I believe we haven't heard this groovy techno track since Ponzo met her unfortunate fate, and the loud guitar chords really echo the struggle Killua is going through. By the way, I meant Ponzu back there. I think I said Ponzo, and that just doesn't sound right. That sounds like some fat tub of lard or something. Anyway, as if this battle couldn't get any cooler, Killua loses one of his eyes to an unknown force, though it's obviously from Shoot from when he hit him in the face. I mean, you could see ripples of whatever he did to him on Killua's face. You have to applaud these opportunities when they pop up. Authors of Shonen Jump are very good about showing gore in different ways. Killua is missing part of his face, yes, but it's due to some probably reversible nin power. One Piece shows gore in interesting ways too, like when Kizaru's body is torn apart at Sabaody. It's not really torn apart because he can just reassemble himself as a light man. Shoot has started attacking with his actual fists now. And this track here we haven't heard since Killua's fight with one of the bombers at Greed Island. It's a chipper little tune that assures us... See, that's what I have to deal with. I mean, sometimes this video player will just glitch the heck out on me, and if it seems like sometimes I'm just redoing stuff, it is, because sometimes I'll have to redo stuff as much as 10 times. Starting right back up, it's a chipper little tune that assures us of his victory. In an awesome moment of triumphance, Killua discards his yo-yos, or his shackles in this fight if you want to look at it figuratively, and he charges right up to shoot and almost delivers what looks like a really strong volt. Man, when that music's playing, you gotta give the hero the win. Not in Hunter, Shoot just backs the hell up and Killua is left in despair to rot his mind. And like I thought, the episode ends just about as the king is about to be born. A cool linked effect between the transition of the scenes is the heartbeat of Killua is the same as the king's pumping in the belly of the queen. That doesn't mean anything, it's just for a transition. Alrighty, although there wasn't all that much I could really say this time, I do regard this episode highly, and I give it an A++. They worked with the material they had, and since they wanted to explain freaking everything, the first half took a while. Alright, I'm still doing those segments where I talk about whatever I want at the end of these videos. So what I want to talk about in this one, I'm going to have to move the camera here. I got a new shirt that I wanted to do the review in, but I just tried to distance myself from the camera as much as I could and it just never worked out. So here's the shirt. Let me get good. Right there, there we go. But yeah, it is the best shirt in existence, and I waited about a month for it, over a month. I actually had to file a dispute for that shirt, just like this YouTube thing, to get it. But anyway, if you're wondering what that is, oh my god, it is not Bullet for My Valentine, the Screamo band. It's a completely different band. This is My Bloody Valentine, which is a shoegaze band, and that's Belinda Butcher from it. And she's the main singer. She's very beautiful, and yeah, it's just a badass shirt. I've been waiting for it for a long time. They're one of my favorite bands, and the picture there is from an EP of theirs called You Made Me Realize, which by many is regarded to be the best EP of all time. And yeah, it's my favorite too. What else? What else? Oh yeah, on Toonami, I'm pointing to my TV right there. On Toonami tonight, the fight between Luffy and Foxy started in the Davy Back Fight arc. Yeah, I mean, people have been waiting for that for a long time, you know, the people who knew that it was coming eventually. And I'm interested in seeing the ratings for this episode because we had, One Piece was at the top of the ratings, I believe it was last week. Now it's on a filler episode. So that bodes extremely well for the show. To be completely honest, as a huge, die-hard fan of One Piece, I did not think it would go over this well in the Davy Back Fight arc. But their choice was actually brilliant because it's a wacky arc that demonstrates a lot from One Piece. And if they do it right, I think they're going to go right into Water 7 after this. So now the audience that has not seen One Piece has time to see how the crew interacts with each other before a wrench is thrown in all that, like in Water 7. Thanks for watching.